This is the Ruckus and the Menace.
Challenge accepted.
No. Oh no! We suck again!
I'm getting confused. What game are you calling?
I'm calling both games.
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City!
There you go. There it is.
There's a winner. Look at that.
Back.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you,
Yep, without further ado, Ruckus and the Menace, episode 183. We'll begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ruckus and the Menace podcast. I am Ruckus, always causing a ruckus.
And I'm Spence the Menace, and I spent my 4th of July weekend watching the most international thing, World Cup soccer.
Yawn.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like, we're getting to the good part now, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But we've got some other goods that are coming along the way in our Eastwood segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as we're going to get right to it.
All right. And also, by the way, did we even mention it was episode number 183?
You did.
Okay. I was trying to make sure. I don't know. I
Who's counting?
True. We've been doing this shit for like 3.5 years, maybe even 4 years.
Apparently it's only us.
The joys of being old. All right. All right, what's good this week?
All right. Well, I think you kind of picked the good this week simply because NBA free agency and off-season moves are kind of behaving like SpongeBob during his boating exam.
Okay, you play the role of Mrs. Puff. Do I floor it, Mrs. Puff?
No.
Do it here, big toe.
I mean, you would simply freeze, mister. Big toe. Left. Right.
It's almost like you have a antenna covering that hat. I cheated. I'm a cheater. I cheated.
Oh, digression aside. But
you know we love SpongeBob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of moves went. Giannis, of course, going to Miami, as we broke last week at the disclaimer end of the episode. But
Yep.
now LeBron is now opted out and gone to free agency. Kyle Lowry's retired.
I was about to say, before you rattled them all off, when you said LeBron was gonna be like, bye, bitch. Like, we don't need you.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell signed his extension.
What was his last contract extension? Wasn't it with the Jazz before he got... Or am I just thinking of something else? Like, am I making something up? I thought he got extended like a couple years ago, too.
I'm not 100% sure, but apparently this one's his maximum contract extension.
Okay.
His 4-year, $273 million extension. Nikola Jokic is pretty much in no rush. He's going to wait till next summer. Let's see. Jaylen Brown traded to the Sixers for Paul George. DeRozan waived by the Kings. Mitchell Robinson to the Celtics. Knicks get Andre Drummond. DeAndre Ayton to the Wizards. LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves was a huge one. So there's a lot of fireworks going on when it comes to the NBA and off season, as par for the course around this time of year. Our bad this week is very, very heartbreaking. I'm not too sure if you had something to add before we moved.
Oh, I was trying to look up his history of Donovan Mitchell's history with contracts, but I can't find anything, and I probably... Wait, hold on. So, in 2020, he signed a 5-year, $163 million maximum rookie scale contract with Utah, and then was traded to Cleveland 2 years afterwards.
Or was traded... No, this was his first... he was traded... He got his designated rookie extension, and then as his designated rookie extension closed out, he was traded in time for him to get his
bag of money.
His current contract, which is his max veteran extension,
and the one that was signed.
And then from his 3-year, $150 million extension. And now there's 4 more years and about $273 million on top of that. That's coming in. That's what I
saw the transaction log on the very right side of the screen. So that's why I was like, "What the hell?" Like I didn't know what was going on.
I was looking at Spotrac as far as the.
Yeah, that's what I was using too. I just didn't realize the transaction log was like on the right side of it. Anyways, I'm pretty hyped for the NBA as far as just player moves. That's like my favorite thing about sports is just seeing where players move and travel to, like whether it's NBA, baseball, or any other sport.
I think the fun part about this time of year is the opening weekend of the NBA season about 3 months later, when Charles Barkley starts butchering where players ultimately end up going, where some of the obscure names end up going because of Ernie Johnson's "Who He Play For" segment.
That's just terrible, Ernie. Just terrible.
The bad this week in moving forward is very, very heartbreaking, as CJ2K Chris Johnson revealed that he has been diagnosed with ALS, which is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. I mean, did you see the interview?
I did not, but he was doing it off of his phone, I'm sure, I think.
Yeah, he had like a screen that he would move his eyes to actually speak words. Was
just
diagnosed
insane.
And it is heartbreaking. And playing football does kind of he did have an elevated risk for it. I mean, we just found out that the Nealon player who ended up taking his own life was diagnosed with CTE, stage 1 CTE, on top of within about just today at time of recording, when we ultimately about a week after we found out about this Chris Johnson news.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know who Chris Johnson is, he was kind of like a running back that had kind of similar premise or prowess. I don't know how to really get that. Anyways, he was kind of like a predecessor to LaDainian Tomlinson, as well as trying to say.
No, I don't think CJ2K and LaDainian Tomlinson are the same back.
Really?
No, LaDainian Tomlinson was before that, but I think Chris Johnson, as far as his movement, was a little more like I would have said he had the agility almost like a Barry Sanders, but
okay.
But he was a little more downhill. He was the lightning back in a Thunder and Lightning back pair with Lendale White in Tennessee. And he ended up becoming a 2,000-yard rusher. And I believe he was the youngest running back to ever do so.
It says Tomlinson was a dominant, versatile workhorse with incredible scoring ability, while Johnson was a historically fast, big play threat, according to Google.
Yes. LaDainian Tomlinson could do stuff running and receiving.
They kind of ran into each other around the later half of LaDainian's career.
Yeah, late Chargers and then his time with the Jets, for sure.
Yep. It's still very sad, but I still remember him as one of the better running backs, and I wish we had him when he played for the Titans. He could have played for the Chiefs, man.
Yep, and the ugly is none other than Terrion Arnold, and the downward spiral and fall from grace that he has dealt with as he was charged with felony counts of kidnapping and armed robbery, and ultimately it led to his release from the Detroit Lions. I mean, we know that NFL players are going to have some reputations involving trouble with the law.
But why?
Maybe, it might be just the sense of there may be some other senses that you would have involving certain stereotypes that we're not going to get into, but
because they're not whiteys like us.
It's not rape. It's not necessarily that, but it does. There are some stereotypical parallels.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm saying that more so out of a modest standpoint.
It's like asking what the meaning of life is.
True, but what is the answer to pretty much every single question numerically? It seems.
42.
42. I think 42 is pretty much the answer to everything.
All right, AI. What is the meaning of life?
Everything.
Chat GPT that shit.
Yeah, because the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. So. But
the meaning of life is a multifaceted concept that asks about the inherent significance of existence. Because there is no universal consensus, it is broadly divided into finding personal purpose, examining existential, damn, that's a big word, philosophy, and exploring spiritual and religious beliefs. You're welcome. Okay.
It could be a little bit it varies from person to person, it seems. But I think for now, let's just move on to the high heat, where we are talking about something that I kind of took up a lot of throughout the months of June and now July, the World Cup. And at time of recording, it looks like Switzerland and Colombia are scoreless and looking like we're going to be seeing some extra time here. But some notable teams that advanced all to the knockout stages. All three host nations, the US, Canada, and Mexico, premier European teams of England, Germany, Portugal, Spain, and France, Southern world powers, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Morocco is another one that kind of fits in that as well. But a couple of surprises. Norway made it, and Cape Verde. Now, Cape Verde, the smallest nation to ever qualify for the knockout stages, and it was their first World Cup. And they lost on a high note to Argentina. Argentina had to win in extra time to survive them. But notable exits so far, Uruguay exited in the group stage. Germany lost to Paraguay in penalty kicks in the round of 32. Brazil lost to Norway in the round of 16 as Erling Haaland hit goals 6 and 7 of his cup to beat them. Mexico lost in the round of 16 to England. Portugal lost in the round of 16 to Spain. And the U.S. yesterday at the time of recording lost to Belgium.
And I could see I Showed Speed crying in the background for no apparent reason.
You realize that Speed is a diehard Cristiano Ronaldo fan.
Sure, whatever you say.
No, really,
is that why he's so popular? Besides just being obnoxious?
Yeah, he is a diehard Cristiano Ronaldo fan. I mean, he is obnoxious anyway. But I think Speed is... But I show Speed is... He's almost, like, genuine in his obnoxiousness.
I beg to differ, but anyways.
Alright, but notably, one of the more viral things that kind of came along was Norway with their Viking Row celebration. And this kind of leads
that's
right
pretty
into...
cool.
Oh, it is. It is a very, very fun tradition now that they've started. It was founded by an elementary school teacher, and what they do, the team sits on the grass, faces the fans, and there is a drum. The captain for most of it, except for in the round of 16 where Erling Haaland actually got to hit the drum. You have he'll hit it twice, and then after the two drums are hit, the fans and the team go in cadence saying "Roo," which basically is Norwegian for row. And they will keep doing this ultimately in the pattern of like a slow clap.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. I just Googled Viking row, and it's actually showing like the Norway flag, and they're like rowing the thing on the bottom of my screen.
Yeah. I mean that's exactly what the
type
of thing is.
And if you hear the dung dung, or you just thought like someone was knocking on your door, like a metal door, I apologize, but at the same time it's cool. I'll do it again so you don't feel like you're hearing shit.
Oh, it really is one of the coolest celebrations.
The dong kind of sounds like the Law and Order, like.
Well, that's
dun dun.
Well, that is because they originally were going with a bass drum for it, but somehow I think midway through, because it's a little bit higher pitch, and you could hear it a little bit more through, they switched to a floor tom. Which, in case you're not knowing what those are comparatively, those are the types of drums.
Yep.
But it gets right into our power rankings, where quickly we are going to have the category of traditions and chants as our theme here. And I'll let Ruckus go first.
Yep. So
and
are
Ruckus,
we going?
For your particular things here, you got to mention the team that is involved with any of that.
Right. So do you want me to do starting from 5 to 1, or how are we wanting to do this?
Do 5 to 1. Do 5 to 1 because I will do the same as well.
All right. So number 5, I've got Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks that plays. It used to play at Royals games around the 7th inning stretch, and I think they took it away like probably 2020 or something like that, maybe. Probably because no one was allowed in the stadiums, but I don't know. They just don't play it anymore, but they used to, and that was a pretty cool tradition. Go ahead, Spanis.
My number 5 is the running of the sausages. The racing sausages in Milwaukee. Where you have basically an Italian sausage, a chorizo, a hot dog, and all that, and pretty much any the 5 sausages, people are inside the suits and they're running around racing each other in a foot race. And that is tradition for Milwaukee. Go for it, Ruckus.
All right. So, number 4 is a funny one because because you were saying it has to be a specific team, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, multiple groups of fans, whether it's the Royals, the Orioles, or really any baseball stadium that does the tarps off activity. This thing is hilarious. So what tarps off means is you take off your shirt, mainly male dominant. If it was female, well, we would have another problem on our hands. But
Oh, well,
and,
Brandy Chastain did it with the sports bra back in the 90s with the Women's World Cup.
like,
So,
actually freed the, like, freedom, or it was just her sports bra was showing?
yeah, it was the sports bra was showing. Like,
Oh, okay.
She still had the sports bra. Yes, you could still have the. She still had the jersey come off, but it was. But yeah, it was covered by the sports bra.
Yep. But yeah, the tarp slop thing I think is hilarious. It's because it's hot summer nights. Sometimes you're just like, damn, I'm getting really hot, and you just want to take your shirt off, and sometimes it'll help you cool. But also, I believe at some experiences of that, they shoot water out of like a hose or something. But that, anywho, or it could just be naturally raining outside, and they're just like, hell yeah, let's take our shirts off. Woo! I don't blame them. That'd be fun. All right, go ahead.
Number 4, I have the Ohio State band tradition, granted done at Ohio State football games, of the dotting of the I.
I'm sorry, it's the Ohio State University?
Yeah, the Ohio State University, yes.
I'm just being an ass. You're fine.
I understand that, but it's Ohio State with their tradition of pretty much their sousaphone players with the lead major. They go across, they'll dot the I, and they'll play the fight. Then they'll play the tuba portion of the fight song, and they mostly do it with like senior members of the band. So yeah, it may be a band tradition, but it's done at college football games. The dotting of the I of Ohio.
No, numero
you,
tres. Numero tres. All right. So this became more of a tradition in between the 2019 and 2020 season for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it mainly happened when Travis Kelce just
I can tell exactly where you're going with this because
can I please finish?
Yeah.
All right. So again, started in 2019-2020, pretty much because Travis Kelce famously, among other things, it was after the Chiefs beat the Titans to get to the Super Bowl appearance after 50 years of none, and he says, "You gotta fight!" Okay, I'm gonna tone that down a little bit. Too much voice cracking. You've gotta fight for your right to party! And then I think he says some not so nice language or whatever, but anyways,
he was the Burrowhead one, I believe.
Oh yeah. Because then after that, whenever they beat him after losing the year prior, 2021, it was Burrowhead my ass.
Yeah, that's where that was that particular one. Yes.
And also, so it's the Beastie Boys that sing it and perform it. It's pretty awesome. They still on occasion play it after they score a touchdown, but it used to be like every time, all the frickin' time, because before that it was I think, I don't remember what it was called, but anywho, go ahead, Spennis.
My number 3 is typically is in the Premier League, but it is not my usual team of Chelsea. It is actually one from Liverpool, and it is the world famous anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone." It was originally a show tune from the Broadway musical Carousel, but it was adopted after a Liverpool band had covered it, and it became like a big common thing for when Jerry and the Peacemakers version ended up coming through. It was also, if you watch the end of season 1 of Ted Lasso, "You'll Never Walk Alone" was also used.
I'll have to watch that at some point. I just never really got into Ted Lasso.
Yeah, but You'll Never Walk Alone is, and how the fans will sing it in the Anfield crowd of Liverpool, is number 3 for me.
All right, and then number 2. So, I recently talked about this at the beginning whenever I did the PS memoir at the beginning of last episode. We'll start it off. You gotta do the Spanish with me. I say boomer, you say sooner. Boomer.
Sooner.
Thank you. All right. So that is my number 2. Boomer Sooner, baby. Also, congrats to the College World Series champs, Oklahoma Sooners. Dun 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 dun. All right, number 2.
My number 2 for me is, now my number 1 and my number 2 are ones that I have gotten to experience in person. And my number 2 is following WVU wins. It doesn't matter what the sport. Country Roads will always play following a WVU win.
West Virginia.
Yes, and the one time that I actually did get to experience that in person was against Ruckus's Oklahoma Sooners.
Didn't you guys win that one?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I was up in Morgantown. Yeah, I was up in Morgantown for the WVU Oklahoma football game, and we won on the last second field goal.
All right, and then my number 1, this one, to many that aren't diehard Chiefs fans or really Chiefs fans in general, or just hate the Chiefs as a whole, this one to them will feel more like an insult or a really did we need this added onto this, because this is done during the Star Spangled Banner at the end of it, and that is, and the home of the Chiefs! Because most of the time that happens, I don't know if that shit ever happened whenever I visited, like, well, I think it was mostly, like, conglomerated around, like, the Midwest parts. So, like, probably mainly Kansas, Missouri, Ohio, maybe Oklahoma, who knows. But it was always kind of hilarious to hear it, but some people still find it offensive to this day for some other reason besides just tackiness or whatever. Anywho, go ahead.
So some of my honorable mentions included Thank God I'm a Country Boy during the 7th inning stretch for the Baltimore Orioles, the Detroit Red Wings with the throwing of the dead octopus, and Virginia Tech football players entering out to enter Sandman. But my number 1...
There was a goddamn octopus they threw?
Yeah, Yeah, you haven't heard that with the Red Wings? When they throw a dead octopus onto the ice?
Okay, we gotta see this. I'm putting it on my recording screen. Dead octopus.
Yes. This is... I'm being
Red
serious.
Wing. Good God.
I'm being serious.
Go to a...
This is legitimately
I
something.
don't want audio. How do I get the audio away?
Red Wings game. Go.
Okay, we're not doing that shit. Never mind. I was trying to get...
But yes, I was not kidding when I said that it actually existed.
Alright, there you go. I found it. They literally, dead ass, this blonde woman is holding a fucking squid.
It's an octopus.
Or octopus. I'm sorry. Still, it's a very odd thing. How much was that goddamn octopus? That's what I want to know.
Yes. It was initiated by 2 brothers and it was the 8 arms symbolized the 8 wins that the Red Wings needed to win the Stanley Cup at the time.
Prices vary widely from $20 to over $300 depending on species of an octopus.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
that's a great idea. Let me spend $300 on a goddamn octopus. And so I could just throw it out there, and they're just like, "What the hell?" And then the Red Wings fans are just like, "Oh, what do you mean? That's just a thing. I don't know what you're talking about."
My number 1 was Sweet Caroline in the bottom of the 8th at Fenway Park, which is a Red Sox tradition. Now that I threw an honorable mention, that honestly like trumped everything to Ruckus.
I was like, wait, what the fuck? Octopus. That was what I was having in my mind. I'm just like, the fuck? You just say a fucking dead octopus? And yes, I just did a bunch of F-bombs at once. Sue me. I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, wait, what? Anyways, sorry.
Yes. But now we move on to our studs of the week. We're not going to do any duds because neither of us could come up with one. So we're going to do our studs of the episode.
I'll go first.
Yep.
All right, so Bobby. He is getting his first start in an All-Star game. Normally, he is on the bench the first two games at the All-Star games. He was on the bench and then came in near the end. I remember, I think it was his first one was at Texas because he did the home run derby, and they put him in with not Seth Lugo, Cole Reagans and Salvador Perez all in one inning, and they were talking all good about the Royals because we were actually doing good, and now we're pretty damn mediocre, but whatever. Anyways, my stud was Bobby Witt Jr. getting his first All-Star game start. That's awesome. His third selection in his career so far. Spennis, go ahead.
My stud goes to Fox Sports for 2 of the better acquisitions that they made for World Cup coverage. Jameis Winston, the quarterback for the New York Giants. They brought him on as a correspondent, and he has been very energetic, bringing an energy and a charisma that is super, it's entertaining, and they're on YouTube. But the other fun part has been in the studio or in some of the analysis sections with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, if you want to talk about a high confidence striker in the soccer world, Zlatan is definitely your guy. And he was actually the inspiration behind a character in season 3 of Ted Lasso. But Zlatan in the booth has been really, really fun to watch. A charisma over 9,000, and at the same time, a very entertaining but very informative person as well.
Noise.
And I'm gonna call an audible here. And before we get to the color commentary and hit a major high note before we round third headed for home, let's move on to our lights, camera, action, where we actually get to talk about some stuff we've been watching and stuff we've been playing. And Ruckus, I know you didn't. I didn't
really do shit. Mainly because all I really do on it, besides this podcast, besides work or sleep, I either play video games and just hang out. It just depends on what game I'm feeling, because, the reason why Arc Raiders hasn't been really doing a whole lot for the content thing is because it just feels dead. But Battlefield, I just kind of play it here and there, and I'll do like challenges and stuff. But I finally got through the battle pass for this season, so woohoo! Yay, overachieving! Let's go. And then I've been trying to go through a full run through of GTA 4's story, and so far it's been good. I'm on the second apartment complex, the second house, I guess you could say. And then yeah, and then as far as other stuff, not much to say. We talked about the drive-in last week.
Yep.
But yeah, also rewatched the Benchwarmers recently. Pretty hilarious. Still holds up. The World Cup, I've been kind of glancing at little highlights. So like when Messi did the hat trick when it was Algeria versus Argentina at Arrowhead. So yeah, that and it'll be the show. But other than that, I've been just busy with work or doing other shit. Anyways, Spennis, go ahead.
So, what the missus and I have been watching together on Amazon Prime has been the segments of Eli Manning Presents the Undercovers. Now, in case you don't know what this is where, of course, it's an Eli Manning produced thing, but athlete goes undercover at famous events, and then eventually they will reveal themselves. Baker Mayfield did one in Tampa Bay. The most recent one we watched was Sabrina Ionescu at Oregon. And it's always like a really big thing that's great whenever the athlete ultimately reveals that it's them. And everyone gets bamboozled. But then on my own, I've been watching watching back the Pop Culture Jeopardy on Amazon Prime. And then I've also attempted to watch the Miz hosted American Gladiators that's on Amazon Prime.
Are you just mainly doing that through your smart TV? Because I've tried the mobile version of Amazon Prime TV, and it genuinely sucks.
I mean, it through a Fire Stick. Through a Fire Stick is actually where everything's been.
There you go. Yeah, you shouldn't have any issues. Because I have this weird thing when I'm like trying to like have something in the background, or put it on like my phone and then try to pause with my Bose headphones. It does not pause for whatever weird reason.
Yeah. But
that's why I throw that in there. Go ahead.
But also my playing list has been a sequence of the current release bangers. I finished Mouse PI for Hire. I then went all the way through The Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales.
Can you give me a quick review of Mouse Pie for Hire? Could you just say pretty good?
Oh yeah, it's a pretty solid boomer shooter. They commit to the bit. They commit to the bit as far as them being mice. The baseball card game in it is very, very addicting. And so it is more of a boomer shooter. So it operates a little bit more like modern Doom. But but they do a lot of scaling down. They do a lot of downscaling as far as like it's not super gory. It's done in that 1930s rubber hose cartoon type of thing. And it's a solid game for what it is. It's better than what IGN reviewed it at.
You know what? Screw IGN.
The Adventures of Elliot is a really good HD 2D game. The characters are very endearing. It got to a point where I'm like, I just don't want to put this game down because I want to finish it. I finished it in 20 hours. So
nice.
It's a Square Enix HD 2D game with very much that classic Legend of Zelda vibes. Mm-hmm. And then Ruckus is super jealous that I decided to purchase this and start it up on my PC. 007 First Light. I played 2.5 hours on it. Haven't gotten to go back to it just simply because been dealing with other things along the way. And I
Is
know
that on
if I'm
PC
gonna
Game
pay-
Pass?
No, I purchased that via Steam.
Okay, because I was looking at it on Steam when it first came out, and then I was like, I'm gonna wait because I never really played all the way through my Hitman games I was gifted or bought like off of the secondhand market.
I will say it's from the developers of Hitman, but
Right.
it's definitely different than Hitman. It is definitely different.
All right.
But where we go as far as video games, we now get to kind of talk in some of our state of video games as we know it address. And my question here is do we want to start with topic number 1, topic number 2, or topic number 3?
I feel like topic number 1 and topic number 2 kind of collide a little bit because I have mixed feelings about both.
Not 100%, just simply because granted that we talk about a singular game in the first one, but then it's like, okay, it sets the table for...
Oh,
like,
I was looking at it as PlayStation and Xbox. That's why I was saying, because
No, it's 1 and 3. No, 1 and 3 are definitely different. But it's 1 and 2 that almost kind of can run a little bit hand in hand.
Are you sure? What's worse, laying off a bunch of employees or choosing to eliminate physical discs? Sorry to spoil it. I'm just saying, if you're aware of that shit on social media like me, I'm just kind of like, well, which one's worse? Xbox laying off a bunch of people, or anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But why don't we start in the middle here? As
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is digital only at an $80 price tag, and the Ultimate Edition at $100. But the Ultimate Edition has stuff that is locked behind a paywall. The paywall that the $100 edition unlocks that the $80 does not get you, including things like some missions, some cars, stores, like a bunch of content. I am going to say that my interest on Grand Theft Auto 6 is still at an absolute 0.
So I'm gonna wait until it comes out and see what people are saying about the frame rates, because I heard a rumor that it's going to be capped at 30, and I don't want to play.
Oh yeah, it's starting out on console only. So
right, but I just didn't know how powerful they could get with it and squeeze it to where they could get 60 FPS consistently.
Yeah, my interest point on Grand Theft Auto 6, it doesn't even matter. It's still at an absolute 0. It is the game that is centered around, that has kind of made every other release revolve around it. And I have no care for it. I'm going to be playing a whole bunch of stuff beforehand that Grand Theft Auto 6 is left completely on its back burner. Completely on the back burner, and plus I think the games that I would be playing would be better than Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I'm mainly just waiting to see what happens with it, like if it's a buggy mess like Cyberpunk was, or if it's actually fairly strong. And I think it's going to probably be a year or 2 before they even get to PC and other places. And
online at that point.
But I can see where people get pissed off about having to pay an extra $20 for extra stuff, but in all honesty, people are gonna argue that the $100 is worth it because you get so much out of it. But at the same time, we're still trying to figure out what's going on with the story. Like, how long is it going to be? How does it progress? Does it progress kind of like GTA 5, where eventually you get to the 3 characters, or is it you start as one of the characters and then eventually you meet the other character? Like, how are they doing this? We don't know. We haven't gotten a trailer yet in like 3 years since the last one, and we just don't know. So
now the first thing I am going to say about this is that the price tag is, I'm queuing up Chris. I'm queuing up Chris on the price tag. Because this $80 price tag was absolutely no surprise to me. The $100 $100 for the Ultimate Edition. I thought they would be able to scoop out maybe about 120, 130 for that. It's a little surprised that the Ultimate Edition is as low as it is. As low as it is. But the $80 base price tag, nah, Chris is getting queued up.
Rockstar's getting more smarter. That's about it. Anyways, keep going.
Well, now we move on to topic number 1. PlayStation has chosen to eliminate physical discs starting in 2028, trying to follow the trends and saying that everybody's buying, that pretty much a good amount of their base is buying digital now. As the unk in the podcast, who does buy his games physical, I am in the minority here.
Honestly, I don't think it's you're in the minority. I feel like a lot of people want to keep physical discs.
Yeah, more people buy physical discs anyway. Like, there's more people who are buying them just in the sense of buying them. Like, it makes more sense.
Honestly, why even make a case if you're just gonna put a little fucking piece of paper in there that gives you the code to put into Steam or whatever? Like, that's so dumb. That's such a waste.
Yeah.
I get the appeal, but whatever. I think you should at least still have physical discs, but I also can see why, like, technology-wise, that would be kind of silly to have, because most people think, oh, you're going to put the disc in there to play the game. Oh, well, no, you're downloading it from the internet. Then why do we even make a physical disc if it costs us money?
You have my Adventures of Elliot was a game key, but I can't hate that it was a game key because the game was also really, really good. They still make a really good game that, yeah, it was on a key card this time. But Nintendo says, oh, you can... But the game key card system says, oh, I can still trade this in and still get a percentage back. I can still get a percentage back to go into something else because it's just digital rights. Right.
And another crappy thing with PlayStation, though, to your point, if you don't log into your account for PlayStation, like, let's say you don't always play video games, they give you a notification, sure, but if you don't log in that period of time, you're pretty much...
Yeah, it's just make sure you sign... It's basically come to a point of making sure you sign in. Like, that's just... I don't understand why Sony has decided to put so many backhanded things to its audience.
Not to mention also they're going to take away PC ports of their exclusives.
Okay. That I kind of saw coming. Especially with all of this other...
But
all of these
why?
other shenanigans going on. Oh, but why? Exclusivity to make people buy their brand. Like, that's the reason why, is that they're trying to do that so that people will have more than one console in their house. Unless you really are hardcore, you're not going to be able to do it all in one. Unless you really emulate and do piracy.
Or just simply have a port that listens and understands what PC is doing versus what the consoles do, but I don't know. I can see where it's like
all of these account blocking because of mandatory PlayStation Plus accounts for games like, I mean, Helldivers 2 had the issue, Marvel Tokon, now Halo Campaign Evolved is going to do that for the PlayStation and Xbox account.
Helldivers took that away because it pissed a lot of people off, but they haven't.
But that was a thing when we got it.
I just think
it's reverted back. Sony's now reverted back with Marvel Tokon that's coming out here in a few weeks.
I think it sucks because if I want to play the next Spider-Man game, I have to get a console instead of playing it on my PC and having the convenience of that. And especially now that prices are going up on consoles, like the Series X is not as bad, but like PS5 Pro is almost $1,000.
It's becoming that the hobby space is now impossible to get in.
Thanks, AI. Some people say thanks, Obama. As a joke, I say thanks, AI, because F you.
That was the reason why
You made us. You made
prices went up.
all the PC part prices went up because of you and all this slop bull crap. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Anyways, let's get to the third one.
And last but not least, Xbox. As we talked about earlier, laying off a bunch of employees, cutting losses with studios, but none of this. But here was the thing: no studios got nuked in the entire thing. Granted that they sold a couple off, and they've sold two. They sold two off. They allowed two to go independent, and there's a fifth one, as far as Arcane, as to whether they're looking at the options to potentially sell it. But they did not nuke the studios. I mean, id Software took a hit with the layoffs, but they didn't necessarily kill the studios outright.
Which is good, because I was about to say, like, with the layoffs, I was like, oh no, does that mean this or this is happening? But no, they're definitely not like EA. EA, on the other hand, even if your game's not ready, they're gonna try to force feed it so that their investors don't get cold feet thinking, oh no, this game's gonna suck because people have to wait longer. It's like, no, they just want get rich quick scheme and suffer the fate of the developers at that point.
Yep. But here was the other thing that I really, really enjoyed about, like, it showed the silver lining, but it also, what I liked about what Asha Sharma did here, she went into this, and especially how everything got released, it showed a transparency of where Xbox is not at a great state. She was transparent about the state of Xbox. She was transparent about how their acquisition spree that they went on to try and have the Game Pass model work. It did them no favors. She was open in saying that not every studio really found a great home with Microsoft. She clearly explained, even had numbers to support all the other things that went along with it. So, and then also had kind of realizing that also the inner workings of having 14 levels of management to go through just to have something try and clear the ground.
Jeez.
And streamline, and a lot of those layoffs were in middle management, so kind of cutting out a lot of the middlemen to try and possibly have better content. Streamlined teams have been sources of some of the great games that have come out recently. Team Cherry with Hollow Knight Silksong was a very small team, less than 15 people. Expedition 33, the game of the year last year, 32 core members and a dog. Yes, it's 33, including the dog.
Noise.
So as a whole, I think there's a silver lining to this that really should be looked at, especially because a lot of these situations and how it was handled, especially with letting Double Fine and Compulsion go back to being independent, selling the ones that they had the rights to be able to sell them to, and potentially have a third one sell off on the Bethesda line, and focusing on the stuff that works. stuff that's been working. I think Xbox may find a way to get this plane to land somewhat safely. There is hope that Xbox could land this safely.
We'll see.
And it's almost like it's an all's well that ends okay, I guess.
Not gonna lie, that Sherney lady's pretty.
Yeah, but it's one of these things where it's like it's best case scenario. Like it's a lot of like best case scenarios that work out, and that's why I said that a lot of this could be where it's like, okay, this might have been what was for the best, and Double Fine could find a way to land safely. Compulsion finds a way to land safely. The studios that sold off, maybe their games end up becoming quality, especially coming off of the Xbox umbrella, or at least Xbox is allowing them the runway for the time being that they're working on their games, and no games got canceled because of this. So games didn't get nuked either.
Yeah, because people are wondering where the next Elder Scrolls is going to be. It's like by the time I'm 60, that game will probably be out.
So Asha Sharma is trying to find the best way to possibly have this land safely. And I'm kind of with it. Kind of with it for where this is potentially planning on going. I know that I took up a lot of that as far as the good.
Oh no, you're fine, dude.
But I think that it's read the statement. Like read the statement. If you read the statement, I was watching a lot of stuff that was kind of breaking down the statement that Asha Sharma made, and it left a lot of like cautious optimism.
You're fine. Yeah, no worries.
In that the plane could land. And now we get ready to round third and head for home. And we're going to start with, of course, the iconic couple are now finally married. So Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are now officially married. They went through their ceremony at Madison Square Garden.
I want to see footage.
Oh, I have, like, the annoyance of Taylor Swift when the whole thing first came along was one thing. But then all of a sudden, when you hear the interviews, of course, how on New Heights, how Taylor Swift was talking about Travis and kind of how they ended up just meshing incredibly well together, it becomes less of an issue. It becomes less of an annoyance and more of just something that's clearly going to be there. And I have no problem with that. I'm not gonna yuck people's yum over it.
Yep. Congrats to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, or should I say Taylor Kelce?
Yep. The Commanders signing Rasul Douglas to a 1-year, almost $4 million deal.
Hooray.
I am hopeful that this can work out. But I think this is where our roast session kind of comes in. Rounding third and headed for home, closing out, will be that team manager Amir Aura Khan is reuniting with his old McNeese basketball coach once again as he transfers to LSU through a transfer portal. Why do the managers even need that? Do we really even care? And why did we really need to know that?
He needed a professional, I guess, guy that tries to help pick up chicks, in Lane Kiffin, because Lane Kiffin, aka Mr. Serial Girl, knows a thing or two about that, and there's also just memes about it in general. But it'd be interesting, because I think Amir Khan's actually in a relationship. Let me look.
That's neither here nor there. But this is just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, yes, I can understand that the manager goes viral. But at the same time, we please just throw the flag on the play of saying that normally Fame only lasts 15 minutes, and ESPN reporting a news story on this throws the flag of trying to stretch out a 15 minutes that doesn't need to be stretched out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, on that note here, let's go ahead and close it here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to episode 183 of the Ruckus and the Menace podcast, where we talk sports and in general things and try our best to be funny and or informative. Anyways, I am Ruckus, always causing a ruckus.
And I'm Spence the Menace.
And we'll see you
until the
guys
next
in...
one, hugs and hand pounds, everybody.
Yep, we'll probably see you in a week. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 3 weeks. I don't know. As many weeks as we want.
Well, we got a bit of time. Football season's coming out.
Yeah. Anyways, deuces.